welcome back to my wood-fired oven. As you can see, the door's constructed. In this video I'm going to show you how I put it all together and the materials I used. I still got to put a air control valve for the air intake. I've still got to put the seal around the door and the damper in the flue. I'll leave that for another video. It has, on the inside, it's got a layer of insulation to stop heat through the front door. If you want to see videos like this in the future, subscribe, because I've got a lot more content coming up. I'm going to be building another wood-fired oven, and I've got another lot of large projects that I'm doing. It's moving away from wood-fired ovens as well. There's going to be a lot of other content. So if you want to see anything built, constructed, repaired, subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm back to the oven door. So this is my old door. This is the back of my new door. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. Cutting the holes for the air inlet. Now, it's been sitting outside for a while, which is beautiful for me because it's starting to weather. So it's got a sheet of plastic over it and it's started to peel a little bit there, and I was trying to work out some little designs, but I changed my mind on that. I'm just going to put a row of rivets around it and give it a bit of an old feel. You can see where it started to rust, where I've done some work there. I'm going to take the paint off that, the galvanizing off that as well. I'll sandblast that. Sandblast the bottom one as well. That way there they look rusty as well. I don't want it to look too good. I want it to look a bit worked. You can see I've hit it with the hammer and a chisel and that to give it a bit of a rough feel. So we'll make a start on that. What I'm going to do, as I've probably explained before, I'm going to line the back door, the back of the door, with the old door, right? And I'm going to put a layer of insulation between it. The first thing is to put the decorative rivets on the front of the door. Okay, so one of the reasons why I want the door to be outside as well is, can you see all that soot marks there? As it's raining, a little bit of water goes down the flue, or a bit of condensation off the sides, I'm not sure what it is, and it creates those drip marks, and you can see the black soot from the lining of the inside of the flue dripping down the face of the door. So that's one of the reasons why I want to put the door outside the oven. Okay, so what I done there, I used that scriber to give me a line all the way around it, and once I got that line, then I marked at intervals of 50 millimeters marks where I've got to drill through so I can put my rivets into. But it didn't work out to 50 mil by the time I got to the end. And I was being a bit lazy. I could have got a calculator, worked out the length, divided it by 6 or 7 or 10, and then worked it out exactly, and it would have come to 51.2 millimeters or something like that. I just put them in at 50, and then there was a gap at the end of about 60, so I went back and moved those lines 2 millimeters, and then I ended up with my gap right here, and I done that all the way around. Right, so that's just a little cheats method, which I probably should have done the proper way anyway. So that's what it looks like from the back so far. Bit of light reflection there. All of those little X's, they are going to be drilled through. Once we've drilled through, then we're going to cut some rivets down to size. Cut some of these rivets down to size, then put the rivets through from the back and hammer them over. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, because I drilled from the back upways, it's created a burr on the front face. So I'm just going to run the drill just a little bit, just to get rid of the burr on the front face. Alright, give it a little vacuum. Okay, so I've put my jack, we'll see if this works anyway. Put my old jack on the floor, put a piece of tube over this solid bar, and I've jacked the bench up slightly, and that's putting a firm point so I can hammer it over the top of, and I won't get so much bounce. We'll see how that goes. Oh, that's a lot better. You can already hear the difference. And I'm not getting as much bounce. Alright, so do some time lapse of the rest. so that's one line of rivets. I'll move on to the next side. Okay, so back to the old oven door, which I'm going to use still on the inside to stop the heat getting to the aluminium on the outside, and there's going to be an insulation layer behind this as well. What I've done, I've gotten rid of some of the boring bits. I drilled holes exactly where the air vent holes are on the face itself. All right, so it'll go through the two layers. So what I'm going to use now is my sink cutter. Back in the plumbing days, if there wasn't a hole in the kitchen sink, we used to cut. There you go. I've actually left a piece of aluminium from last time. Right. And what this tool does, you drill a hole the size of the thread. You put that section underneath a hole. Put this here like that and screw down. But before I do that, I'm just going to put a little bit of grease under there, because this is going to be working overtime, just that bit, and we'll do a cut. All right, so just tighten that up, and what it does, it pulls the bottom piece through to the top. So I've clamped down the piece of steel too, because this can get a bit hard to do. I was thinking of doing it tomorrow with the ratchet gun, because it's at night now and I don't want to make noise for the neighbours, but we'll see how we go. Might be able to get one done. Like this. So it is quite an effort. Just make sure my jig clamps are tight, otherwise we're going to be flying. Right, you hear that? That's nearly cut through. One more to go. There you go. Alright. So that's one done. We'll do the other two now. Right, and I'll just show you. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Right, so it's a little bit stuck in there. So usually stainless steel sinks.
Power off.
So usually stainless steel sinks are a bit thinner than this metal. So that's probably why it's a bit difficult to cut. And another thing I just thought about right now is this metal, stainless steel, has been heated many times in the oven. So it's work hardened. If you heat stainless steel, it work hardens. So I think I'm going to have to grease that thread as well. Alright, so I'll put a bit of grease there as well. Might even put a bit of grease on the face of the cutter. I've been called in for dinner. We'll see how this one goes. Okay, so last night I finished the holes on the inner layer. Now, let's have a look at that. So I'm just going to put my bolt in the center here. I'll line up the pizza door. Decorative door. Alright, so alright, they line up perfect there. Alright, so the thermometer will come through that's where the central part is there. Today I'm going to put some more rivets in the other holes. I didn't do it last night because I didn't want to make too much noise. Alright, and then we will move on to putting a frame around this section. That way there's a physical gap between the two doors and the insulation will be in between, and that will stop heat running through to the front of the door. You should be able to touch the front door once it's finished.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the frame. Now what I'm going to do is tack weld all of this together, then check it again, then mount it from behind, and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so that's been welded and grinded. Now we've got to screw it from the back. Actually, I might have to make a little section across here to stop the insulation falling down into the breather holes. Alright, we'll do that first. Okay, so just welded that in, cleaned those off. Now it's ready to be screwed from the back. Okay, so I've screwed the front face, I've screwed the frame to the back of the door, but I haven't done it down the sides. Basically, there's two hinges on one side, there's going to be a latch on the other side, so they're going to be part of the fixing and holding that down. So they are one piece now. Alright, can anyone see it? 4 pieces of pineapple. Well, the other side, I put a few round circles. They're the olives. Alright. So, if you love pizza, pineapple on a pizza, that's a very hot topic. Be good discussion whilst we're having pizza and the oven doors on.